Hello and welcome back to Fearful Harmony. Today we have a very garnular guest here today. They are the creator and developer slash person who worked on Garn 47, the guardian of Car, Floombo aka Angel. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing really good, actually.
Glad to hear that. I
Uh,
see you got your 47th friend in the back there. Did I do that
he's the
reference right? Is
first.
that the Oh, the first?
Yes, he's the one with the 47 friends.
Oh, well, it's alright. Yeah. Really quick, is the green guy in the game, is their name Garn 47 or is it just Garn?
Garn 47, that's the 47th Garn that has been made out of Garnites.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we were talking before this. I was like, I'm sorry if like I don't know like an insane amount of the game because I haven't had the time to like dig into everything. So hearing that was, I'm learning. This is gonna be a learning process for
Not a
me.
lot of
But
people know that.
oh, now they do. I would say exclusive Fearful Harmony, but I think there's no. Anyways, but yeah, I want to get you on here, talk a little bit about game development, other stuff. But start off with a pretty standard question here. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Green. That's great. Do you like my phone case?
I like that thing that you
Oh
have.
wait, I gotta say. Thank you. It is green. Okay, that wasn't the actual first question. I don't know why. I just had the urge to ask that. Just kind of starting off with like a baseline. Before you got into like the Friday Night Funkin' stuff and like Guard 47, what kind of got you into game development as a whole?
There's this game called Bomb Squad. There,
Of
it's like,
course.
and it's like a claymation. No, not claymation, but it's like everything is made with clay and then with Blender modeled with like pictures of those like clay figures.
Oh, okay.
And that really like made me want to do stuff, because that also got me into Blender and into making games because the game was open source. So I started making like maps and things in it. They all sucked really bad. The person that taught me, that they sucked really bad. But yeah, it got me into everything.
When did that
Um,
game come out? Like, was it just on Steam?
um, we're still waiting for the Steam release after like 8 years. Um,
What was it out on?
the Ouya,
The the Ouya?
and
That's a
also
name I
Android.
haven't heard in a long time.
See, when did this game come out?
This is the Ouya. It had to be like 2014 or 13 or something.
Hmm, 2011. Okay, that's a
20.
2011
Oh, okay.
game.
I was off. No, that sounds interesting. Have you ever heard of this might be completely different from that game, but Clay Fighter? Because that's what I was thinking when you said
For
that.
the 64?
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of hate that game, but I will admit it looks cool.
It looks interesting. It's a game.
Yeah, so okay, I'm so glad you know about that game because like the only thing I ever do now when mention it is like, oh, you know the blockbuster version that's worth like $1,000 something. Like that's all people ever talk about because the game itself is ass. It tries to like
Sucked.
be funny, doesn't it? But then
I
it's
used to
not.
have it.
Wait, you used to have it, really?
Yes.
Oh,
My,
that's cool.
my brother used to have it, and then because at the time it sucks. We just kind of like traded it for another one, which I think it was Banjo-Kazooie.
Sorry about that. That's a good trade up right there, regardless
Yeah,
of how much
way
it
more
is.
fun.
So after you worked on that stuff, kind of what point did you start to move more into like the Friday Night Funkin' community and then getting involved with the creation of Garn 47?
Okay, so there's this. Oh, what? I can make my hand bigger. Okay, so there's like this. There's this mod called Pokey Hell.
Pokey hell, I feel like I've heard. I have not heard of this. Never mind. Continue.
Okay, so, and then I saw it, and I'm like, this mod rocks. It looks so funny. the and I just thought like I'm gonna go into this mod and try and save it. I'm gonna try and save this mod, and that's what got me into FNF.
What year was that?
Um, damn, like 3 years ago?
Wait.
2?
Oh my god, the game is that old, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel older than I should at this moment. I forget just how like like that was like COVID era when that game like blew up. Oh, something moving in the background there. Saw some little fellow looking at me back there. All right, that's great. So, it was hit single that Garn was packaged in. When did you start kind of working with the, I, I don't know if this is the correct term, the hit single team? Like, did somebody approach you to like start working on Garn, or like were you already like working with them and you're like, I'm putting Garn in here?
So originally, I just thought like Sturm was cool. So like, I mean, I still think Sturm was cool. It started with me noticing his songs were never complimented visually, because a lot of his like most popular songs, gameplay wise, when you play them, nothing really happens. Like sometimes there's a character change or a new one pops up, the background changes a little bit, but I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't do it justice. But for how like good this song is. And that's when I started making like the crazy animations that are like really long, like the top loader one and
Yeah.
the your copy.
Was Top Loader the Eggman? Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's go. All right, I'm never great with Friday Night Funk and stuff, so I'm glad I got something right. That I loved
good.
that one. I remember seeing that like, I think when you tweeted it out, I think it was on Twitter a while ago before I knew anything about like Garn or hit singles. So it's cool. I'm just proud of myself that I knew what that was.
You did great. I remember that that was terrible to animate because one, I was bored like after the first week of like non-stop animating, and two, I exported the whole animation as PNGs and put them back together in Filmora, and frame by frame, I put every frame into Paint.net and manually edited the glitch effects.
You use PaintNet?
Yep. And then in Paint.net, I manually edited every glitch effect that you see in there.
Oh my god.
And I could not tell like if they would like work together or anything until like I reloaded Filmora and the frames updated. So that was a process that I think was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it paid off, but that's what I used to do back in like 2019, 2020 when I was editing, and I didn't know how to like cut the background out of things. So what I would do is I would take individual screenshots of frames of the video, go into PaintNet, cut out the background, and then lay them out frame by frame. And it was like an hours long process. But that's I can't believe that was made in Paint. I'm so happy. I'm a PaintNet supporter till the day I die.
too.
So I'm glad.
It's so good. It does everything.
Exactly. You get plugins on there, you basically just got better Photoshop. That's how I feel about it. But anyways, so we talked about you getting into Friday Night Funkin' and stuff. Let's get into the Garnular portion. Garn. So I've played through. I actually have no clue how much of it I've played through. I feel like I've played through a pretty decent bit. And
How many badges?
Huh?
How many badges?
I can't remember how many I got when I streamed. I want to say like, this could be completely wrong, like 3 or 4. I remember certain badges. I'm like, okay, the fact that I remember them, the fact that I remember them means that I got them at some point. And I also remember like spending like half an hour trying to get Car across that thing and getting the shit scared out of me when he fell off the edge for the first time.
I love watching people react to that so much.
I haven't watched it, but I saw a clip of Matt Pat reacting to that, and I thought that was funny.
Matt Pat's reaction is so sweet.
Yeah.
Like to the whole game in general.
Yeah, I saw his like end reaction to it, and well, I mean, obviously he's got a lot more going on than I do, and he's a lot older than I am, but I get his like view of it. It was like if I was still in like high school or something, and I just had like a week to kill or something like that with nothing going on, oh my god, I would tear that game apart. I am
Yeah.
such a big fan of. Actually, this kind of leads into one of the questions. I'm a really big fan of like surrealist games, stuff like, have you ever heard LSD Dream Emulator, like on
Of course
PS1,
I have,
stuff like
yes.
that. So, like, were there any inspirations from like other surreal experience that influenced Garn?
This is my most common question, and I think about it a lot. Um, no.
In a way, I kind of like that because then like there's no method to the madness, you know. There's
Yeah,
no like this was
there
inspired by
has.
like Super Mario Brothers on the NES or something. I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's the thing.
but
I never have an answer because I never. I don't think about anything when I'm making it. I'm like not
yeah,
like thinking like, at the moment I'm gonna make this whole section like this one game that I like. It's like I can only say subconsciously. It's inspired. It's clearly inspired by some of my like favorite games, like Rain World,
you
uh,
put that in your questionnaire that you like Rain World.
Rain World,
Yeah.
um, Space Station Silicon Valley. I like that one.
Yeah, I could see the. I hate saying PS1 inspired games because like I don't know, I've just seen so many things get miscategorized under that. But I could see kind of that surreal like PlayStation 1 kind of like almost PS1 horror kind of vibes in there. That's why I brought up like LSD Dream Emulator. I recently
Yeah.
played a game called Kitty Cart, if you ever heard of that. I love that game.
Yep.
That kind of takes notes like that where it's like there's no sense to it. I love games like that. uh, but sort of related to that, how was mixing the different like I guess you could call it gameplay styles because there are kind of different like gameplay sections of it, and then like the different art styles, like mixing them all together. How was that experience? Kind of like
Mixing the art styles? I don't think Garnt has like an art style. It has some
maybe that's a
um
bad way to say it. All like because like you got like 3D models, you got like Eggman flying in, you got like the Garn Dog, who is my favorite character by the way. I'd like to make that known. I love that little fella. Um, just like a bunch of different like characters and like how their style, like the stuff with the Sonic, the 2017, like that's like an entirely different section. Not like entirely different. I mean, the game's kind of random, but like
I guess
stuff like that.
I've always just like liked putting things together that normally shouldn't be. I watched a lot of Gumball, but that's an obvious comparison.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, I like putting 2D characters in the 3D space. Like, of course, it's fun. It's always fun. Um, but I think a lot of it just comes from the fact that I don't like doing the same thing too often.
Yeah.
I don't like enjoy holding on to one thing too much, and this is one of those exceptions because I can do whatever I want with it. So if I'm bored of like the Garn running around and flying all over the place thing, I can be like, okay, this new section is a shooter. I'm I'm gonna make it like this, and it's like, okay, this section is horror because I'm feeling like there's someone outside my window, and a lot of it is just like a lot of Garn is I like to call it a diary
That's a good way to
because
put it. I haven't thought about it like that.
Garn is that way because it genuinely is just what I'm thinking at the time and what I'm like most like passionate for or like what is overflowing my mind or what problems I'm having,
Yeah.
and they're just put into the game. Like there's some scary things that would not be in there if I was not as stressed as I was sometimes, like staying up all the way till like 9 a.m. doing nothing but working, like in like a state where like I just like am like half awake and not knowing what I'm doing. And I keep those because they're cool.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Diary because that was actually the direct inspiration for LSD Dream Emulator, is that the main developer had like his dream diary and like it kind of showed like how he was feeling at that point in life and he just made it a reality. I'm sorry, I love that game so much. I like talking about it a
Yeah.
lot. But no, I almost like I wish I could do something like that, more like break from a format. Not I don't even know how to like you have such a unique product that like you have created here, and it's so hard to like describe, but I think that's like one of the best parts of it, you know? Like you throw in there what you like want to throw in there, and somehow it works, and it like all stitches together, but like it doesn't stitch together. Like I know people who like I haven't had like a million conversations about Garn, but like I've talked to people about it, and then they bring up like 2017 X, and it's like, okay, you wouldn't have expected like a creepypasta character like that, or EXE, or whatever you like to call them, like attached to that, but like it is, and like they're so unrelated, but like it works somehow, you know? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm kind of rambling a little bit there, but
For
uh,
2017 fans, they're not gonna like V2.
okay, so you know what? I was gonna ask this question later, but I I'm what's considered an old head in the EXE community. I've been around since like 2012, 2013, like the original Sonic EXE, and I've definitely gotten way better at knowing about the stuff nowadays, right? I don't consider myself like a sole EXE creepypasta creator, but I'm definitely like that's one of my big things. But I am still confused about stuff. So if you're okay with it, can you explain what X 2017 is? I know he's like Sonic, but like he doesn't like when people don't call him Sonic. You don't
I'm
gotta
gonna
go
be
into detail.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know that much. I just thought it was funny, and I knew the person
That's
that made it,
great.
Raven, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, I'm putting this in because it'd be funny, and I feel like it.
It fits.
And then there were some issues with that originally, and then there wasn't, and I'm like, keeping this character in here is not fun.
Yeah.
So I just
I don't like that his feet are out. That's not right. Or that
that's
his
just what
hands
he
are out. I don't.
that's
I
just
mean,
what
I
he
guess
looks
it works.
like.
It creeps me out, but it's like ew, dude. But I just want to ask about that because I was like, I have no clue who else I would talk to about on this podcast unless I got like the creator themselves. But, anyways, I have a question. I'm sure you've gotten this before, but I am like curious about it. What was like the trickiest part of all of Garn 47 to like create? Whether it was like on a technical side or like coming up for the idea, or
Mm,
at least
Jeez.
one of them.
It's definitely like it was definitely starting it, like getting back into it after putting it down for a while. That was like the hardest point where like all there was the main area and like you could go see car and that was like all there was for a while. And I'm just like I don't know what to do with this thing.
When did you start development?
I'd like to say like 9 months ago, and then I it went on a hiatus for like 4 months, and then version one was finished 3 months later. So it was probably like just like a 3 month and 2 week span of work making V1.
There was a certain segment I can't remember. I wanted to ask how it was made. It'll come to me. But I was also curious, do you just use like one software, like one tool for everything, or do you like integrate multiple?
Well, I use Blender to like model and texture and and make the game. Uh, but I do use just FL Studio for the music and sound effects.
I didn't know for the longest time that you could actually make games in Blender, and then someone told me that, and like my whole mind was blown. I was like, I thought that was just like an animation program.
I know, right?
I've always wanted to attempt Blender, but that's it's scary. But anyways, I know everybody out there is dying to know, and I feel like I might have an idea of the answers. But who are your favorite and least favorite characters in the Garn 47 universe? The
Julie's my favorite.
G47U, if you will.
Julie's my favorite character because I'm biased and I voiced them, and also because they're the oldest one in the game.
They also helped me last night because I did not. I was like, I'm not even gonna try it. I'm turning on helper mode. I need to know where to go.
Helper mode was one of the last things added. Um,
Really?
yeah, Oh, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, redo the question from earlier. Helper mode was the hardest thing to add. Like, if you go into the scene with Drilly in it, it's just the longest like list of like things that can happen depending on what you're doing, and it just
Yeah.
gets it just to so much. And yeah, Julie was definitely the part that lasted the most in development, that one feature. And it was worth it. It was very worth it.
I feel like
Um,
I have an idea who your least favorite is now after our conversation earlier.
I mean, yeah, he got removed. He's not
Oh
even in
wait,
the
so they
game
are
anymore.
removed?
Yes.
Where were they in the game anyways? Because I tried to find them when I was streaming it, but I couldn't. I was like, I give up.
When you beat Garm 46, a door opens like a hatch in the superstructure at the bottom of the floor. You go in there, it starts. And that's it. It just happens. It's maybe the
Yeah.
most jarring like moment this other than Car Zero, but you know, I'm not sure you know what that is.
Car Zero?
Yes.
No, that
You
sounds
don't know.
cool. I'm thinking like car, but like upgraded. Thinking like
It's a car but in the past.
transfer. Oh, in the past, I was thinking like a transformation or something. But
No, it's a really weird section of the game. People say it's the most jarring.
so
Um,
there was actually a few things that you wanted to bring up. So you guys are starting a Patreon for Garn 47, like the dev
oh,
team.
it's
Yeah.
been happening. Yeah, it's been
Well, it
great.
started. Yeah, I think I remember seeing a tweet about it. It was less than a month ago, right?
I
Maybe.
think so. It was like 2 months, 3 months ago.
Yeah. What could people who subscribe to the Patreon expect?
A lot of just like teasers and updates. And occasionally, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't do it enough. I don't like ask them for like feedback, but I should do that more often. I mean, they do give me feedback just in the comments or replies, and I always read them because like, why not?
Yeah.
I should do more polls for like random like things that should be changed in the game.
So if you're a fan
And
of Garn, like you want to get in on this. Well, not a lot, but like it's for them.
yeah, if you just want to like see things early, which chances are it's a spoiler. Uh,
Yeah, I tried not to dive too deep into the Wikipedia before this because I do want to go through and play it blind because I tried to do that, so I haven't watched like Matt Pat or anyone else play it either. But also I had to like just do a little research to make sure like I remembered everything from when I played. But yeah, no, I'm a big
play
fan of like behind the scenes stuff as well, so that's always cool to
play right now.
see. Play it right now.
Play right
Sorry.
now.
Thanks everybody for watching. I gotta.
Let me send you
Honestly,
V2
V2.
so you can just
Okay.
have like the video ready early.
Oh, perfect. What was I gonna say? And then there's a game page coming out soon, correct?
Oh
Or is
yeah,
it out already?
the itch is up. It does not have any downloads.
Okay.
But it will soon. Like recently I posted on Patreon, like I'd be surprised if it doesn't come out this week.
Oh, this week?
Genuinely.
I know what I'm doing this weekend, possibly.
Maybe. Cause like hit single is done. It just needs like one chart for one song and then it's coming out. And then and of course Garn, the new updated Garn is in there. And if you don't want to play hit single, that's fine. That's why I made the itch page. So you can just download Garn alone.
Yeah. I had to ask for help from Joe Doughboy on how to get to Garn through Hit Single because I was gonna go stream it and I was like, wait, how do I get to it? Just like I pinged them and I was like, hey, can you help me real quick? I know you know this stuff, and thankfully he did. So
Yeah, now it's gonna be a lot easier.
yeah, I'm excited. And then just out of curiosity, is Garn 47 like after V2? I assume Garn 47 is not done, but like, do you have plans for maybe like? Like not a Steam release, but like a
Steam?
bigger release, like by itself. Maybe even Steam. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe not a plan. But, oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So I decided with the team that Garn needs to be allowed to flourish because I don't like waiting for an FNF mod to be finished when the game has been done for a month and I've
Yeah.
just been adding random stuff for fun, waiting, and I'm just like, it's too stressing. Like either I like w work too much because I think the mod is gonna be finished too soon, and now I'm just like impatient. Quite frankly, it's
No,
just
I
like
get it.
I'm just like waiting here,
Yeah, you want
and
people
that
to see the work.
yeah, and I'm like, if I did release it like when I wanted to, MatPat would have definitely played that version, and I'm like, so that made me decide, yeah, next after this hit single update, version 3 is gonna be completely standalone, and I'm gonna try to release it on something.
Probably
If
can't
I,
have Sonic in the
Mhm.
Steam release, huh?
Of course, most of the V3 is gonna be, um, of course, I'm planning to close out the story
hmm
and also replace all copyrighted content.
That's what I was thinking in my head too when I was like thinking about that question. I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure Mario just straight up appears at some point. They probably have to like gut that, but
That's so retro. That's not Mario.
that is. Oh, wait, no way, really? I thought that was just like Mario beating the shit out of MX.
No, that's so
I didn't know that was
retro.
so
That's his
retro.
name.
I like that scene better now. I didn't realize at first that that was a cutscene. I just kind of, or that wasn't a cutscene. I kind of just like stood there watching it, and I was like, "Oh wait, am I supposed to do something?" And
I
I saw
love
my little
that.
guy.
I love that so much.
Does that happen often?
A couple times where people just like they don't like try to press anything because they're just flabbergasted by the fact that they're seeing like a man get murdered in front of them. Then they just realize and it's funny. They usually clip out
Yeah.
of bounds for some reason. I don't know how they
That's
do
how I
that.
was with the Eggman one too, or the Robotnik idiot. I'm just watching, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, oh wait, was I supposed to move with him?
I
And then
know,
I
I
have to try
know.
and navigate. I was like, okay, wait, which one is towards me and which one's away? That happened to
The
me last night because I forgot it wasn't a cutscene.
I love how like sloppy the game design is at the beginning, which I am not fixing. I am keeping it
No, it
like that.
works. It works for that.
Cause like purposely, it's like the main area is like the sloppiest, grossest. The camera is all messed up. It's just like you have to put through with it to get to the like juicy center.
Yeah. Kind of focused on Garn there for a little bit. So let's talk some more Garn. So the initial, I guess you could say, like, blow up of Garn kind of came like hand in hand with like hit single. Bunch of people were talking
Hmm.
about it. Even kind of escaped like the Friday Night Funkin' community a bit. I mean, you had people like Matt Pat playing it. Like that's not. I don't think FNF YouTuber when I think Matt Pat. But what was kind of the initial reaction like from you personally when all that stuff started like hitting mainstream? Well, you know what I mean.
I was very calm.
That's good. Normally people are like, I saw this one video at lunchtime. So it's always in school. Like almost, I shouldn't say almost. Most of the people I've interviewed, I feel like that was your initial thing. Is like I saw this video when like with my friends at the cafeteria or something, and like that blew my mind. It's a
Trust me,
weirdly common trend.
I was like happy, but it was a really slow burn. Um, Cause like it was only like a few weeks ago when I like came to the term that I genuinely have fans. Like I never thought about that before, cause like I was just like in VR chat, like I decided to join like one of those like group events that was happening. I'm like, it
Mhm.
seems like fun. I just bought a VR. Sure, why not? It's like it was like my birthday. I got one.
It's
So
very
then
surreal.
yeah, and then I just realized like people are like crowding around me. This is like weird. This never happened before. I guess
Yeah.
this is something I have to get used to now.
And
Um,
then, like, kind of almost separate from Garn, Car has also been gaining like a lot of traction. I looked at because I was messaging on the Car account, and I saw Car's files. I'm like, 180K. I thought it was like 100K like the other day or something like that. I didn't realize Car was like I knew Car was like this Car, right? Like they got a lot of I've
yeah.
seen them like all the time. My friends who have nothing to do with the kind of stuff that I like interact with all the EXE stuff are talking to me about, it's like, I played this game the other night, Garden 47, you heard about it? I'm like, and I give them like the 1,000-yard stare. I was like, no way. Like, these are people
I
not in a million years I would have expected to like talk about that stuff. And they're talking about car, and I'm like, that's crazy.
It's so weird. I'm also like really confused. Like, I don't get why Carr blew up as much as he did. It gives me like a weird feeling of like, do I deserve this? Like, why is he so big? How did he grow so fast? It just makes no sense. And it gives me a weird feeling sometimes. Like, I feel like that's natural. That
Yeah.
that like you'd like get so much, and you'd wonder like, why? I didn't really like earn it. That
No,
and
you put in the work. Like I said, I might be a little biased because I did really like Garn is something that was like basically created for a person like me, but like I don't know. I feel like Garn it deserves, and then Carr, it's like for some people became almost the face of Garn. I still associate it with the funny green guy, but how's managing like Carr separately from Garn 47 been? Because like I mean, Carr, when you put up the plush, it was gone like that. Literally, I had a friend who was like, "I'm so sorry, my buddy Eric. If you're watching this, I'm gonna dog on you a little bit." He's like, "Please, can you ask if you get me a Carr plush?" I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, it's just kind of crazy how, like, Carr is, like, still very linked to Guard, but, like, gained a following of his own. So how's, like, dealing and, like, not dealing, managing and, like, being behind that then?
Carr is strangely purposeful in the way that I make him like interact with FNF, because Carr has never made a direct reference to FNF other than like in FNF groups.
Hmm.
Like, I purposely go to like the reply sections of like FNF places to talk about FNF, because then non-FNF people like uh don't run into it as much. And like, as much as I want to keep it like related to FNF, I just there's no reason to.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't want to like alienate the people that grew up with like grew around Carr because of FNF, but at the same time, like, why would I like make Carr FNF related?
Yeah. Because you're talking
Uh,
about how you want Garn to kind of, like, it's going to
yeah.
become, like, its own thing, its own separate entity soon. So
Hmm.
you kind of want Carr to follow along with that.
Yeah, so Carr is just kind of like, and it worked. People are still surprised when they see that it's a FNF mod. Um,
Yeah.
Other than that, Carr is just the way that I manage Carr is just he is an outlet to say all the corny things that are in my mind without being like judged.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just randomly went on Twitter, like, and went like, I love everyone, everyone's my friends, people are just gonna be like, you're being weird.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's like, you need an outlet to say those things.
They see, like,
And
a
Carr is that.
silly, goofy cat, and they're like, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, Carr is not as much of a character as much as he is just like,
An outlet.
yes.
Yeah.
So
No,
he's more real than you think. I like to say that a lot.
Yeah. How long do those little animations normally take you? I'm sure they're not like insanely long. Like sometimes I'm like, you're getting these out kind of
Mm,
fast.
I think like there has only been a few cases where one has taken like over an hour, just because I like do the thing where I want to like tie this one with the Garn lore, because currently people are like being too annoyed at Carve or being too happy, so I gotta put in one of the lore things, which I really like doing a little bit more, honestly. And those usually have like more scenes and things to animate and other characters.
I like the one where he had something in his mouth, and everybody in the comments was like, "What's in your mouth, car? Spit it out." It's like,
That one was so fast.
that one was
That was
good.
that one was just me messing with with Car's model and like inflated his cheekbones, and I'm just like, this looks funny. It looks like he's eating something. I'm gonna shake it around, then upload it.
Wasn't that like a celebration for like a milestone too?
That was an excuse. I just had it, and I'm like,
That
I'm
one was funny.
lazy.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you were able to kind of like find cars like almost like an alter, not an alter ego, an outlet. I know I use that word a lot, but like, outlet's like the best way to describe it. But no, it's really cool to see kind of how Car has helped you as one of their 47 friends, of course.
Hmm.
I think I played the song during my stream. I can't remember, but I re-listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I like
You did
when you
play it.
don't do, huh?
You did play it.
Yeah, okay. Did I? Did you?
Hmm.
I think I played. I know I played it at some point. I'm guessing I played it during my stream because I've only played it a total of 3 times. One was I started playing it and I stopped. 'Cause I was like, I gotta stream this, and then the other was a stream, and the other was last night to like refresh myself. I guess I played that during my stream. But I love how when you don't do anything, they just kind of stare at you, and like the music just keeps going.
Oh yeah, car
Uh,
kids were really messed up in that song.
but, anyways, yeah, moving away from Car a little bit. Do have like one or two, I guess, unrelated questions. I'm just genuinely curious. So obviously, Friday Night Funkin' pretty connected with the EXE stuff. And then obviously, you've put like an EXE. Well, I guess two, because MX is an EXE character, I guess. But do you have a
Yeah, and
favorite
Egg X.
EXE game? Huh?
Egg X is also an EXE.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
yes, he's a really popular one.
Oh,
He's
I
like
didn't know that. I
maybe
have to
one of the
look into
most
that.
popular actually.
I
Egg
didn't
X.
realize that was like a. I thought that was just Robotnik, like chilling.
No, no, he's like, this is the red one with his hand up, and he's like awesome.
Uh,
He's a classic.
Egg X. Let's see. I've seen this somewhere before. Where have I seen this?
Garn.
I maybe that's where. Like that specific image of them like as they're red. I've seen that. Anyways, do you have like maybe like a game or something that's like your favorite out of all the EXE projects or creepypasta or whatever?
God, I've not played any of them.
The watched would be good as well. Like any you've seen, you're like,
Oh,
that's cool.
there's like a Sonic EXE like remake that has the song "Go Back." It goes like do 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 do, and it's like referenced a lot in Karn. Like when you touch the sign that says "Go Back," it plays that little jingle, and it's from that EXE Sonic game.
Was it 2011, the one that Joe Doughboy did? That's the one I'm thinking of right now.
Probably. Chances are.
That's definitely the most popular remake as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I really try to keep up with the stuff because now I know that's like my community, and I know I have a very big fan base of people who like are a lot more up with it. So I try to keep up with that stuff, even if necessarily I haven't played it. But I think that's what
Yeah.
it's referring to.
I actually don't know like almost anything. Like the more that I think about it, I don't know anything. Like I don't keep track with EXE stuff like at all. It's just because I'm like surrounded by EXE people that I
Yeah.
feel like I do, but I've never like actually been like interested.
It was
Like as
still,
cool as some of the things that people are making, like they're cool. Keep making
yeah.
them.
I like all the Eggman ones. I didn't know that one was a EXE, but that's cool. And then I just like starved as a concept. There's a
So,
couple things about I got some issues with it, but I'm a really big Eggman fan, so I see that and I'm like, hell yeah.
yeah.
It is really weird. Like I said, as someone who's like been through the ups and many downs of the EXE community, like at 2020, besides like Luigi Kid uploading, like the community was kind of not in the greatest place. So it's really cool to see not only that I'm able to like have an online presence and almost like a job because of like EXE games basically, but there's a ton of other people who are creating so many cool stuff and they're like, yeah, no, I also make EXE stuff. I'm like, that's just so, it's weird, but it's also cool. I'm glad the super niche, like, strange, almost guilty pleasure thing that I've had since I was a kid is now like a thing. People are still talking about, but
Yeah. It is really fun. I mean, I've interacted with it before. a lot.
Play Sonic.EYX, that's my favorite. I know it's a lot of people's favorites as well, but
Oh yeah,
it's a
I've
good
heard
one.
about it. I watched it actually. I watched that one.
I think Markiplier played that one, which I think is hilarious. But
That is really funny actually.
anyways, so here on Fearful Harmony, I like to ask all of my guests a what if question about who would win in a fight. So I would like to ask you, who do you think would win in a fight? So we got Carr, who just got a fresh haircut at Sports Clips, versus two Sonic EXEs that have consumed 600 milligrams of caffeine each.
I think Carr would befriend them. That's his
No
thing.
fighting?
Carr doesn't fight unless that comes later. Mostly he just befriends everyone. That's what he does.
I've been hearing a lot of. I think the last one, I talked with the creator unknowingly. They said it was a tie, and now we got friendship. I'm starting to like the response to these because before I'd ask them and be like, "Oh, this person definitely." I like when I get the unique answers. But what kind of haircut do you think Carr would get?
He would probably like cut all of his ears into segments. So then he has like two like ponytails. And then he like puts like a like rubber band around the like bottom. So then he has just like two big puffs.
I love that.
And that's what he do.
I think
Uh,
that fits Carr. I don't know why I was thinking like a mohawk or something, just like comically placed in between his
yeah.
ears, but anyways, so before we kind of wrap up, do you have any advice for anyone who wants to get into game development or maybe just like working on the kind of stuff that you do, like some good advice you'd give to people who want to do that?
God, I'm the worst for that. So like just mess around, honestly. Just like try starting like to do something easy. Like in itch.io you can see the Garn page and you can see Marblob right under it. Like in the games that I've uploaded. And like Marblob is just like me messing around with Blender. It literally says my first game on it. And and it's like you're just a ball like rolling around to the end of the goal and there's like occasionally ramps and stuff. And it's just like that's easy to do. You can figure that out. And then like just keep messing around, keep thinking like, how do I spice this up? How do I make that? Just do whatever. Like as long as you're like making something, you're getting better.
No, that's good advice. I don't know you're saying you're bad at that. That's some of the best advice I think I've heard. Like here.
And that is shown in Garn too, because like the start is janky, but not entirely by design. Entirely by the fact that I couldn't make it right the first time and didn't want to fix it. And that's why the start is so messed up. But you can see me slowly like getting better at making it like just feel better to play. And yeah, it's just like just keep making things.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. Where can people find you if they'd like to follow you somewhere?
Um, Follow the Garn47 Twitter.
It's just at
Or
guard47, right?
yeah,
Okay. I'm surprised you got
like
that handle. Did you get that one a
me.
while ago?
Yes, actually, I I took it before the game came out.
That's smart. Well, thank you very much for coming on. And everybody at home, go make 47 friends.